The coffin was already in the ground. Everyone was silent. The wind blew softly across the school field as we stood around the grave. Our principal, Mr. Thompson, had been buried just a few minutes ago. I remember staring at the dirt, trying to understand how someone who used to shout in the hallways every morning was now gone forever. But then, the ground moved. At first, I thought I imagined it. A small shake. Like something shifting under the soil. Then it happened again. Stronger. The dirt on top of the coffin started to rise. Someone gasped behind me. What was that? The priest stopped talking. Everyone looked at the grave. Then suddenly, thump. A loud bang came from underground. The dirt jumped. Kids started screaming. Parents stepped back. Another thump came from below. This time louder. And then, a hand burst out of the dirt. Everyone froze. A pale hand, covered in soil, reached up from the grave. My heart stopped. That's not possible, someone whispered. The hand grabbed the edge of the hole. Then another hand appeared. And slowly, something started pulling itself out. I couldn't move. I couldn't breathe. Because I knew that hand. I had seen it every day at school. It belonged to our principal, Mr. Thompson. He pulled himself halfway out of the grave. His face was covered in dirt. His eyes were open. But something about them felt wrong. Too empty. Too still. He looked around slowly. Then his eyes stopped on us. On the students. On me. And that's when he smiled. A slow, unnatural smile. Someone screamed. People started running. But I couldn't move. Because Mr. Thompson opened his mouth. And said my name. Ethan. That was the moment everything changed. Because our principal didn't just come back from the dead. He came back for something. And whatever it was, it had to do with us. But to understand why he came back, you have to go back to the day before he died. My name is Ethan Carter. I was in 8th grade when all this happened. Our school was called Maple Ridge Middle School. It was a normal school. Nothing special. Red brick walls. Long hallways. Old lockers that made loud noises when you slammed them. And at the center of it all was Principal Thompson. He was strict. Everyone knew that. He didn't like noise. He didn't like students breaking rules. And he definitely didn't like people staying late after school. If you're not part of a club, you go home, he would always say. Most kids were scared of him. But I always thought he was just doing his job. Until the strange things started happening. It began on a Monday morning. Everything felt normal at first. I met my best friend Jake at our lockers. You finished the math homework? He asked. Barely, I said. We laughed and headed to class. But when we passed the main office, I noticed something strange. The door was slightly open. And inside, Mr. Thompson was talking to someone. But I couldn't see who. The lights inside the office were off. Only shadows moved. And his voice sounded different. Lower. Slower. Almost like he was whispering. It's almost time, I heard him say. I stopped walking. What are you doing? Jake asked. Sure, I whispered. We listened. Then another voice answered. But it didn't sound normal. It sounded wrong. Like two voices speaking at once. We are waiting. I felt a chill run down my back. Jake grabbed my arm. Dude, let's go. I nodded quickly. We hurried to class. But I couldn't stop thinking about what I heard. The rest of the day felt strange. Teachers looked nervous. The hallways were quieter than usual. And every time I saw Mr. Thompson, he seemed different. He didn't yell at anyone. He didn't stop students in the halls. He just walked slowly, watching, like he was looking for something. Or someone. That afternoon, something even stranger happened. Jake and I stayed late for basketball practice. By the time we finished, the sun was already going down. The school felt empty. Too empty. Let's just grab our stuff and leave, Jake said. We walked through the hallway toward our lockers. The lights flickered above us. Buzz, flicker, buzz. Why do schools always look creepy at night? Jake said. I didn't answer. Because I heard something. Footsteps. Slow footsteps. Coming from the end of the hallway. We both stopped. Hello. Jake called. No answer. The footsteps continued. Step, step, step. Then we saw him. Mr. Thompson. Standing at the far end of the hall. Completely still. The lights above him flickered. His face was half in shadow. Principal Thompson. I said. He didn't answer. He just stood there. Then slowly, he started walking toward us. His steps were uneven. Like he was learning how to walk again. Jake whispered, "This is weird." "Sir?" I said again. Still no answer. Then suddenly, the lights went out. The hallway went dark. Jake grabbed my arm. What just happened? We stood there in silence. Then the lights flickered back on. Mr. Thompson was gone. Completely gone. What? Where did he go? Jake said. I looked around. There was nowhere he could have gone that fast. Then we heard a loud noise behind us. Bang! We turned. One of the classroom doors slammed shut by itself. We ran. We didn't stop running until we reached the parking lot. That night, I couldn't sleep. I kept thinking about the voice in the office. The strange way Mr. Thompson was acting. And the way he disappeared. The next morning, everything got worse. When I got to school, there were police cars outside. Students were standing in groups, whispering. What happened? I asked Jake. He looked pale. Mr. Thompson, he's dead. My stomach dropped. What? They found him in his office this morning, Jake said. No one knows what happened. I felt cold all over. Dead. But I saw him last night. Walking. Moving. That didn't make sense. The school was closed for the day. Everyone was sent home. But before I left, I looked toward the office one last time. The door was open. Inside. The lights were off again. And for just a second, I thought I saw a shadow move inside. Watching me. The next day was the funeral. And that's when everything became real. Because that's when he came back. Everyone was screaming. People ran in every direction. Some fell to the ground. Others didn't even look back. But I was still standing there. Frozen. Staring at the grave. At Mr. Thompson. He was fully out of the ground now. Standing on top of his own grave. His suit was torn and covered in dirt. His skin looked pale, almost grey. And his eyes. They didn't look alive. They looked empty. Like something else was looking through them. Ethan. He said my name again. Slow. Calm. Like he wasn't even surprised to see me. My legs finally moved. I stepped back. Then another step. I wanted to run. But I couldn't take my eyes off him. Stay away, someone shouted. A man ran forward and tried to pull Mr. Thompson back. But the moment he touched him, Mr. Thompson grabbed his wrist. Hard. Too hard. The man screamed. And Mr. Thompson just stared at him. Then slowly, he let go. The man fell back, holding his arm. Everyone backed away. Nobody knew what to do. The priest dropped the book he was holding and ran. Parents grabbed their kids and rushed out of the cemetery. Within seconds, the place was almost empty. Except for me, Jake, and Mr. Thompson. Jake pulled my sleeve. Ethan, we need to go. Now. But I couldn't move. Because Mr. Thompson started walking toward us. Step. 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 His movements were slow but steady. Like nothing could stop him. Why is he coming to us? Jake whispered. I didn't answer. Because deep down, I already knew. He stopped just a few feet away from me. Then he leaned his head slightly. Like he was studying me. You heard it, he said quietly. My heart dropped. What are you talking about? I asked. His smile grew wider. The voice. I felt cold. He knew. He knew I heard him in the office. Jake looked confused. What voice? Mr. Thompson ignored him. His eyes stayed locked on me. You were not supposed to hear that, he said. Then his expression changed. The smile disappeared. You shouldn't have stayed. A strong wind suddenly blew across the cemetery. The trees shook. Leaves flew everywhere. Jake grabbed my arm again. This isn't normal. Then Mr. Thompson stepped closer. So close I could smell the dirt on him. You opened the door, he whispered. I didn't open anything, I said quickly. But he shook his head slowly. Yes, you did. Before I could say anything else, sirens filled the air. Police cars rushed into the cemetery. Officers jumped out. Step away from him, one officer shouted. Mr. Thompson didn't even look at them. He just kept staring at me. Then suddenly, he smiled again and turned away. He started walking toward the trees at the edge of the cemetery. Stop, the officers shouted. They ran after him. But the moment he reached the trees, he disappeared. Just like that. Gone. Like he was never there. The officers searched everywhere. But they couldn't find him. No footprints. No signs. Nothing. That night, nobody slept. The news spread fast. Everyone was talking about it. Our principal came back from the dead. Some people said it was fake. Some said it was a trick. But I knew the truth. Because I saw him. And he spoke to me. The next morning, school was closed again. But Jake came over to my house. We sat in my room, trying to understand everything. This doesn't make sense, Jake said. Dead people don't just come back. I know, I said. But he said something strange. Jake looked at me. What did he say? I hesitated. Then I told him. About the voice, and that I opened something. Jake frowned. What does that even mean? I don't know, I said. But I think it has something to do with his office. Jake's eyes widened. You want to go back to the school? I nodded slowly. If we find out what happened there, maybe we'll understand what's going on. Jake shook his head. That's a terrible idea. But a few seconds later, he sighed. Fine. But we go in, look around, and leave. Fast. That evening, we went back to the school. The place was completely empty. No lights. No cars. Just silence. We walked to the side entrance. The door was locked. Now what? Jake whispered. I tried the handle again. Click. It opened. Jake stared at me. Why is it unlocked? I didn't answer. Because I didn't like the answer. We stepped inside. The hallway was dark. Our footsteps echoed loudly. Step. 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 It felt just like the night before. Cold. Quiet. Wrong. We walked slowly toward the main office. The same office where I heard the voice. The door was closed. Jake looked at me. You ready? No, I said. But I pushed the door open anyway. Creak. The office was dark. But there was something different. The air felt heavy. Like something was still there. Watching us. Jake turned on his phone flashlight. The light moved across the room. Desk. Chairs. Papers. Everything looked normal. But then, we saw it. On the wall behind the desk. A small door. I had never seen it before. It blended into the wall like it was hidden. Jake frowned. Was that always there? I shook my head. No. The door was slightly open. Just enough to see darkness inside. A deep, endless darkness. I felt my chest tighten. This is it, I whispered. This is what he meant. Jake stepped back. No way. We're not going in there. But something pulled me closer. I don't know why. I couldn't stop myself. I reached out and pushed the small door open. Inside was a narrow staircase leading down. Completely dark. Cold air rushed out. And from deep below, we heard it. A voice. The same voice I heard before. Two voices speaking at once. We've been waiting. Jake grabbed my arm. Ethan. Close it. Close it. But I couldn't move. Because something started coming up the stairs. Slow footsteps. Step. 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 And then, A hand reached out from the darkness. The hand slowly reached out from the darkness. Long fingers. Pale skin. Moving slowly, like it was feeling the air. Jake grabbed me and pulled me back hard. "Ethan. Close it." I snapped out of it. My heart was racing. I slammed the small door shut. Bang! The voice stopped. The footsteps stopped. Everything went silent again. Jake was breathing hard. "What was that?" he whispered. I shook my head. "I don't know, but that's what he meant." "You opened the door." Jake stared at the wall. "You mean, that thing down there, it's because of him?" "All because of us," I said quietly. We stood there for a moment. Neither of us wanted to move. Then suddenly, bang! Something hit the door from the inside. We both jumped. Another hit. Bang! The door shook slightly. Jake backed away. "Nope. We're leaving. Right now." I nodded quickly. We ran out of the office. Down the hallway. Out the door. We didn't stop until we were far away from the school. That night felt even worse than before. Because now we knew. Something was inside the school. Something that shouldn't be there. And somehow, Mr. Thompson was connected to it. The next day, the police blocked off the school. No one was allowed inside. Teachers, students, everyone stayed home. The news kept talking about the funeral incident. But they didn't know about the hidden door. Or what was under the school. Jake came over again. "What do we do now?" he asked. I didn't answer right away. I kept thinking about what the voice said. "We've been waiting." Waiting for what? Or, waiting for who? Then I remembered something. "The office," I said. Jake frowned. "What about it?" "There might be something else there. Something we missed." Jake shook his head. "Ethan, we barely made it out last time." "I know," I said. "But if we don't figure this out, it's only going to get worse." Jake sighed. "You're not going to stop, are you?" "No." He paused. Then nodded. "Fine. But this is the last time." That night, we went back again. The police tape was up around the school. But no one was there. We slipped under it. Quietly. The front door was locked this time. But a side window was broken. Probably from earlier. We climbed inside. The hallway felt colder than before. Darker. Like the building itself had changed. We walked slowly to the office again. The door was already open. That made my stomach twist. "I thought we closed it," Jake whispered. "I did," I said. We stepped inside. Everything looked the same. Except, the small door on the wall was open again. Wide open. The darkness inside felt deeper. Heavier. Jake shook his head. "No. No way." Then we heard something behind us. A slow voice. "You came back." We froze. We turned slowly. Mr. Thompson was standing in the doorway, blocking the exit. His clothes were still dirty, but his face looked worse. Cracks in his skin. Dark lines spreading across his neck. His eyes. Still empty. Jake stepped back. "You're supposed to be dead." Mr. Thompson smiled. "I am." The room felt colder. I could see my breath in the air. "What do you want?" I asked. He looked at me again. The same way he did at the grave. "You opened it," he said. "You let them hear you." "I didn't mean to." I said. "It doesn't matter," he replied. "They know now." A low sound came from the small door behind us. A whisper. More than one voice. Talking at the same time. Jake turned toward it. "No, no, no." Mr. Thompson stepped closer. "They needed someone," he said. "A way out." My heart started pounding. "What do you mean, a way out?" He pointed at me. "You." I felt frozen. "No." "You heard them," he continued. "You answered without knowing." I didn't answer anything. But he shook his head slowly. "You listened." The whispering grew louder. The air felt heavy, like something was pushing against it. Jake grabbed my arm. "We need to go now." We tried to run past Mr. Thompson, but he moved fast. Too fast. He blocked the door instantly. "You can't leave," he said calmly. Then the small door slammed shut behind us. Bang! The lights flickered. On. Off. On. Off. The whispering turned into something louder. Almost like laughter. Jake shouted, "Make it stop." Mr. Thompson looked at the door. "They're coming," he said. "No." I shouted. But it was too late. The small door slowly opened again. Creak. The darkness inside moved. Like it was alive. Something stepped onto the stairs. Then another. Then another. Shadows. Tall. Thin. Twisting shapes. They didn't fully come out. But we could see them. Moving inside the darkness. Watching us. Mr. Thompson stepped aside. "They don't need me anymore," he said. I stared at him. "What are you talking about?" His smile faded. "I was just the first." The shadows reached closer to the doorway. Long arms stretching out. The whispering turned into words. "Stay. Come closer. Don't leave." Jake screamed. I grabbed him. We ran toward the door again. This time, Mr. Thompson didn't stop us. We ran past him. Out of the office. Down the hallway. But as we ran, every classroom door started opening. One by one. Creak. 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 Darkness filled each room. And inside, we saw shapes moving. Watching us. Waiting. We burst out of the school and didn't stop running. We ran all the way home. Neither of us spoke. Because we both knew the truth now. This wasn't just about Mr. Thompson. He wasn't the only one anymore. And when I got home, I saw something that made my blood run cold. My bedroom door was slightly open. I was sure I left it closed. I slowly walked toward it. My hands shaking. I pushed it open. Inside my room, everything looked normal. Except for one thing. On my wall. A small door. Just like the one in the office. Slowly opening. And from inside, a familiar voice whispered, "We followed you."